The morning sun spilled across the fields like liquid gold, painting the world in warmth and promise. Diep stood at the threshold of the new house, her hand resting lightly on the wooden frame of the door. Behind her, the laughter of little Nee rang out as she chased a butterfly across the small garden. For a moment, Diep simply watched, her heart aching with both relief and wonder. This was what she had dreamed of: space for Nee to run freely. Walls that did not echo with shadows of the past, a beginning untouched by sorrow. James walked up from the car, carrying a small box of books in his arms. His shirt clung to him with the light sheen of sweat, but there was a glow in his face that Diep had not seen for years. He placed the box down and straightened, his eyes sweeping over the house, then resting on her. "It's not perfect," he said softly, "but it's ours, and that makes it enough." Diep smiled faintly, though her chest tightened. She wanted to believe him, wanted to trust that these walls would shield their love and their child's fragile joy. But she knew deep inside that houses do not erase memories. They only hold new ones, and memories, both good and painful, have a way of following you wherever you go. Later, as they unpacked, Nee skipped between them, her small arms full of toys and books. "Mama, Papa, can we put my dolls by the window? They'll like the sunshine," she said, her eyes bright with innocence. James bent down, kissing her hair. "Of course, sweetheart, the sunshine belongs to you." Diep's gaze lingered on the two of them. She wanted nothing more than to freeze this moment, to protect it forever. Yet her heart whispered the truth she dared not speak aloud. Would the new house truly keep Nee safe, give her a childhood untouched by fear? Would it protect the love she and James had built through so much trial? Or would the shadows of their past creep back in through the cracks? As the sun dipped lower and painted the sky in shades of fire, Diep stood at the window, her hand pressed against the glass. The new house stood tall and quiet around them, waiting to be filled with laughter, waiting to hold their story. And though her lips curved in a smile, a question lingered in her heart like a hidden thread of sorrow. Could walls really save them? Or was love itself the only foundation strong enough to shelter Nee's childhood and their fragile hearts from the storms yet to come? The first week in the new house was filled with the rhythm of small beginnings, the clatter of dishes in the kitchen, Nee's playful footsteps running down the hall, the scent of fresh paint mixing with the fragrance of flowers Diep had planted near the porch. It all seemed to promise peace. James threw himself into arranging furniture, planning his workdays with a sense of purpose. Diep found herself humming while cooking, something she hadn't done in years. It was as if, for a fleeting moment, life had finally allowed them to breathe. But peace often carries a fragile silence, one that can be broken by the slightest sound. On the seventh evening, as twilight softened the horizon, a knock echoed at the door. James paused, his hands still dusty from fixing a shelf, and exchanged a glance with Diep. Visitors were rare here. Diep opened the door cautiously. Standing before her was a man in plain clothes, older, his face drawn by time and hardship. For a heartbeat, her breath faltered. John. He looked nothing like the man she remembered from the shadows of their past. His eyes held no fire, only a quiet weariness. "I didn't come to disturb you," John said, his voice steady but soft. "I just wanted to see if you're safe, if Nee is well." James stepped forward, his body tense, his tone sharp. "You shouldn't be here." John lowered his gaze. "I know, and I won't stay. I only wanted you to hear it from me. I've left the life I once lived. My father's truth destroyed what was left of my pride, and I have nothing but regret. I live quietly now. In the old house, I don't expect forgiveness. I only pray you won't fear me anymore." Diep's hand tightened on the edge of the door. She felt the weight of his words, the heaviness of his figure standing against the dusk. Part of her wanted to believe him, to believe that broken men could rise again in peace, but another part trembled with the memory of pain he had once brought. James's eyes narrowed, his voice low with warning. "If you ever come near this house again, if you bring even a shadow to Diep or Nee, I swear you won't have another chance." John nodded once. Slowly, "I understand. This was my last visit. Goodbye." He turned and walked away, his figure fading into the evening mist until only silence remained. Diep closed the door, Her heart pounding, Nee's laughter rang from the other room. Innocent and unaware of the storm that had brushed so close to them, she leaned against James, whispering, "Can we really be free of him, James? Even if he says he's changed, the past doesn't vanish." James held her, his jaw set. "We'll protect Nee, whatever it takes. No house, no walls will do it for us. It's only our strength, our love, that can keep her safe outside." The night deepened, and the new house seemed to listen, holding their fears within its silent walls.
Days slipped into a fragile routine, though a quiet unease lingered like a shadow no one wished to name. James returned late from work, his shoulders heavy, his mind restless. Diep busied herself with the house, planting flowers along the garden path, sweeping away dust as if she could sweep away the weight of memory. And little Nee filled every corner with laughter, her bright voice chasing away silence at least for a while.
One afternoon, while Diep was folding laundry near the window, she heard Nee's cheerful call from outside. "Mama, look, someone is there." The child's voice was full of wonder, not fear. Diep's heart skipped. She rushed to the door and saw Nee standing by the garden fence, her tiny finger pointing toward the road. A figure was passing slowly, head bowed, carrying a small sack over his shoulder. John. Diep's breath caught in her throat. He didn't look up, didn't pause, but Nee's innocent eyes followed him. "Mama, who is that man?" He looked at the flowers. He didn't smile, but he looked sad. Diep knelt and pulled Nee close. "He's just a traveler, my love. Sometimes people carry sadness in their hearts. Don't worry." She forced a smile, smoothing Nee's hair, but inside her chest tightened with unease. That evening, James came home and immediately noticed the tremor in Diep's hands as she set the table. She told him what had happened, her voice low, careful not to let Nee hear. James's jaw clenched, anger sparking in his eyes. "I warned him. He has no right to linger near here." Diep touched his arm gently. "He didn't stop, James. He didn't speak. He just walked by." James turned toward the window where the last traces of twilight sank into darkness. His voice was a whisper, edged with steel. "That's enough. Even his shadow is too close." But as the night grew quiet and Nee fell asleep, Diep found herself thinking of her daughter's words. He didn't smile, but he looked sad. A child's heart sees things adults often refuse to notice. Could John truly be living in regret, a ghost of his former self, seeking nothing but peace? Or was his presence a silent threat, a test of whether this new house could truly shield them? James lay awake beside her, his hand resting over hers, his thoughts far away. He wanted to believe their love was stronger than walls, stronger than the past. Yet the question pressed against him like a weight he could not lift. Could they protect Nee's innocence, and the love he and Diep had fought so hard to keep, when the past refused to stay buried? Outside, the wind stirred the trees, whispering secrets only the night could carry. And within the quiet walls of the new house, both love and fear kept their vigil. The next morning dawned clear, the kind of morning that seemed to promise peace. Diep prepared breakfast while Nee played near the gate, her small hands busy with chalk, drawing flowers, and suns on the stone path. James had left early to visit the fields, his mind restless with worry. It was then that it happened. When Diep stepped outside to call Nee in for food, she froze. Standing a few paces from the child was John. He wasn't menacing, nor did he reach out a hand. He simply stood there, looking down at Nee's colorful drawings with an expression Diep had never seen on his face before, one of quiet longing. Nee turned, her smile innocent. "Mama, it's the man again. He said my flowers are pretty." Diep's heart raced. She hurried to her daughter's side, placing herself between Nee and John. Before she could speak, footsteps thundered behind her. James. He had returned earlier than expected, and the sight of John near his daughter ignited a fury he could no longer contain. "Stay away." James's voice was sharp, his eyes blazing as he strode forward. "I warned you once. You come near my family again, and I won't hold back." John lifted his hands slowly, a gesture of surrender. His voice, when he spoke, was rough, but steady. "I didn't come to harm anyone, James. I swear. I saw the child happy, safe. I envied what I could never give. I have nothing left and no place to go. But I won't take your peace away. Not anymore." The tension in the air was thick, like a storm waiting to break. Diep held James's arm, whispering, "Listen to him." Her voice was trembling, but her eyes were clear. James's jaw tightened. Every instinct in him wanted to protect, to strike, to drive away this shadow of their past. But when he looked at John, truly looked, he didn't see the same man who once schemed and threatened. He saw someone hollowed by loss, carrying a weight heavier than chains. For a long moment, silence ruled. Then James's voice softened, though his words remained firm. "This house is not yours to come near. But if you truly mean to change, then prove it far from here. Live quietly. Don't let me hear that you've broken your word." John lowered his gaze, nodding. "I will. You'll never see me again." I wanted to say, "I'm sorry," to both of you. And with that, he turned and walked away, his figure shrinking into the distance until he was nothing but a memory against the horizon. Diep exhaled, her grip on James's hand tightening. Nee looked up at her parents, confusion in her innocent eyes. "Mama, who was he?" Diep knelt and kissed her daughter's forehead. "Someone who lost his way, my love. But we must keep walking on ours." James wrapped his arms around both of them, his voice low and certain. "This house isn't just walls. It's where we protect each other, where we build our life. No past, no shadow can take that from us." And as the three of them stood together, the morning sun poured golden light through the trees, washing over the new house. It was not the house itself that would save Nee's childhood, nor preserve James and Diep's love. It was their courage to face the past, their choice to forgive but remain vigilant, and their unyielding bond as a family that would protect what truly mattered. The old house was gone, with all its pain and memories. The new one stood strong not because of bricks and beams, but because of the love it sheltered within. In the end, the story of James, Diep, and little Nee was never only about a house. The walls, the furniture, the roof, they were important, yes, but they were not the true protection. What kept them safe, what allowed love to survive, was something invisible yet unbreakable: trust, forgiveness, and unity. From John's presence, they learned that the past can walk beside us for a while, but it does not have to control our path. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, it means choosing to live without hate, choosing to believe that people can change, even if we keep our guard raised. From Nee's innocent eyes, they realized that children see deeper than adults sometimes. Where James saw danger, Nee saw sadness. Her purity reminded them that every human carries more than just mistakes sometimes. They carry regret, hope, or longing for a chance to be different. From Diep's calm voice and James's fierce protection, they discovered that love is strongest when it balances softness with strength. It is not enough to shield one another with fear. One must also learn to listen, to understand, and to stand side by side even when shadows threaten. The lesson was simple, yet profound. No house can truly save love or childhood. Only the people inside can do that by standing together, forgiving wisely, and protecting one another with both courage and compassion. So the new house became more than just a place to live. It became a symbol, a reminder that while the past may knock at the door, the future is always built by the hands that hold each other inside.